Time for our business news here with Harriet.
You first. First Bank.
Thank you, Sulaiman. Welcome to Business News. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is expected to launch the Nigerian Capital Market Master Plan Implementation Council on Thursday this week. The master plan was designed by the Securities and Exchange Commission as a 10-year program to grow and develop the local capital market. The roadmap is part of key initiatives scheduled for the current week by the Securities and Exchange Commission as it holds its final Capital Market Committee meeting in 2015 on Wednesday, the 25th. This is the first to be held by the Commission and all market operators since the end of September, when the deadline expired for all operators to recapitalize to new levels of regulatory capital adequacy. Other initiatives on the agenda includes the payment of initial monies to investors under the National Investors Protection Fund and the launch of the Corporate Governance Scorecard. 475,180 new jobs were created in the third quarter of 2015. That's according to latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics. In its third quarter survey just released, the NBS explains that this represents an increase of 236.1% compared with the previous quarter and 36% compared to the third quarter of 2014. According to the Bureau, the increase in the number of jobs was driven mainly by the informal sector, which accounted for about 90.2% and were predominantly in rural agricultural activities. The labour force population increased to 75.9 million from 74 million in the second quarter, representing a 2.6% increase. It was followed by the formal sector, which accounted for 8.8%, while the public sector generated 4,818 jobs, representing 1.01% of total jobs in the period under review. There seems to be no respite for the Nigerian equities market as the bears dominated the first trading day of the week. The benchmark all-share index depreciated by 1.02% to close at 27,843.55, dragged down by sell-offs in some market bellwethers, including Nigerian Breweries, Zenith Bank and Guarantee Trust Bank. BC Adebayo reports.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Reports. The bears held sway at the Nigeria equities market as key indicators began the week on a negative note after 5 straight days of losses last week. The all-share index depreciated by 1.02% to close at 27,843.55. Similarly, market capitalization also dipped to 9.57 trillion naira. Monday's top losers include Guinness, Nigeria Breweries and ETI in the top 3 category. PZ led the session's top appreciators with a 3.35% increase. CAP is next with 1.91% and 7up with a 0.25% rise. Bank stocks led on the activity chart with FBN Holdings at the top with 20.24 million shares. When the closing gong rang, investors had exchanged 154.79 million shares valued at 2.21 billion naira in 2,663 deals. And that ends the stock market reports. I am BC Adebayo.
Well, let's take a look at some of the other financial markets we track here. And that's it on Business News. Sulaiman will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
You first. First Bank.
Ford Motor Company, together with her local partner, Coscharis Motors, has unveiled the first ever Ford vehicle built in Nigeria from their plant in Ikeja, Lagos. The Ford Ranger pickup was unveiled at a media parley organized at Koschari's Ford showroom, Awoyaya, in Lagos State. The president and CEO of Koschari's group assured Nigerians that the quality of the locally assembled Ranger is same as any Ford Ranger built elsewhere in the world. Correspondent Bolaji Akinwale reports.
It is described as a trailblazer in Nigeria's automobile industry. Koschari's Motors has again recorded a milestone as the first to locally assemble a pickup Ranger in the country. The president and chief executive of Koschari's Motors, Mr. Cosmas Maduka, talks about the importance of assembling the first Ford pickup Ranger in Nigeria.
We've just produced pickup Ranger 4x4 all-wheel drive that can take all terrain. The factory where we are producing today also have capacity to produce 4x2, but what we are launching today is 4x4. Ranger pickup that can take you at any terrain, regardless of the terrain. This pickup has the capability to take you across the place.
The Ford pickup Ranger comes with supreme quality that matches those assembled in other parts of the world.
The entire Ford production system in terms of quality, in terms of safety, is being deployed in the assembly plant. There is not going to be any iota of difference between the Ranger that you will find in South Africa, in Europe, in America, or anywhere in the world.
It's a great platform. We introduced it about three years ago, and it's contemporary, it's efficient. We've implemented all of the Ford efficiency processes here in Nigeria, so we feel like it provides a fantastic value for our customers in Nigeria.
And the deal is sealed to assemble more of this pickup Ranger. With the launch of the new Ford pickup Ranger, Koschari's Motors has shown leadership in going further beyond car dealership, but in manufacturing, a step that is expected to move Nigeria's auto industry forward. Bolaji Akinwale for Channels Television News.
64 young Nigerians who embarked on a trip to South Korea for training have returned to the country. The trainees, who traveled courtesy of the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Limited through its wholly owned subsidiary, Bonny Gas Transport Limited, were trained by Samsung Heavy Industries in various aspects of shipbuilding.
Like the saying goes, there's no place like home. And that seemed to be the feeling permeating through these young Nigerians on return from a training in the last 6 months out of the country. These young lads, 64 of them, have been away in South Korea, courtesy of the Nigerian NLNG, who extracted a commitment from Samsung Heavy Industry to train Nigerians as part of the contract to build ships for the company.
I trained in the painting department, and sincerely the training was wonderful. It's a good experience, and it's a full package training where anyone that have been there will not come back to remain the same. He has to come and same knowledge which he attained or received in South Korea there, he's supposed to bring it back to our beloved country, Nigeria.
I'm grateful to be among them, to be among the persons that went for the training. It was quite interesting.
We are building 4 ships for NLNG, and each ship will have 100 Nigerians trained to man the ships, and these are part of the boys that we have trained. This is actually the third tranche of trainees that we sent to Korea. It's an advantage to the country to have Nigerians trained because it will reduce bringing in people from abroad to work on the vessels.
Derived heavily from deepening local content, these lads from the Niger Delta region, especially the Bonny extraction, now have requisite competencies and skills in shipbuilding.
When, as a company, you award such a huge and significant contract to develop shipping capacity in the country, it's only a common sense and good business decision to create an environment of sustainability. We will not forever continue to build ships outside of Nigeria, neither will we forever continue to expect the human capacity for shipbuilding to reside outside of the country.
We imply other companies to do same so that we have capacity, bridge those gaps and make Nigeria a better place for us to stay.
It's another success story for local content, a success story for Nigeria LNG employment generation drive, and a success story for the Nigerian economy. The possibilities are just endless with these skills acquired by these young people. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Issues of protecting water resources as well as developing ways to achieve water balance in Nigeria took center stage today. The event is a three-day workshop on water stewardship organized by the global beverage Heineken's operating company, Nigerian Breweries, in partnership with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO. Early this year, both companies signed a memorandum of understanding on the development of water stewardship programs.
The opening ceremony of the stakeholder workshop on water stewardship brought together important stakeholders from government, the private sector, non-governmental organizations, civil societies, academia, research institutions, and water catchment host communities. They're here to develop and share a common vision of the root causes of cumulative water stress and the necessary mitigation measures.
Heineken is not the major user of water. But the fact that they have taken this whole initiative to come into partnership with UNIDO to address a problem that if we don't address now, it will even affect the change mantra we're talking about, is commendable.
The Ogun-Osun catchment area, with a focus on the Ashejire Dam, has been chosen as the pilot site in Nigeria for this workshop, and the invited stakeholders will be presented with the initial question of what to do to guarantee water supply for people and businesses in the Ibadan region in a socially, environmentally, and economically sustainable way.
Up to now, water has not been decentralized. Go through the Nigerian Constitution, the one we have for 1999, you still have it there. Provision of water, states should do it. How easy it is for the states to take care of the city of Ibadan with 5 local governments and still be able to remember the 6 local governments in the rural areas.
But what we hope to achieve after a 3 days workshop is that we all have the same idea. What is the scope of the problem? What is the vision to come with solutions? What are the resources and actions we have to put behind it? And what role does every stakeholder is going to have to play in order to get to better water management? And Nigerian Breweries is really committed to play their role.
Since the inception of Nigerian Breweries in 1946, the company has been driven by a desire to create excellent shared value and contribute towards the development of the society and environment, as evidenced in its long-term sustainability project tagged Brewing a Better World. Shola Shoyeli, Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Kenyan athletes stage protest to demand resignation of athletics Kenyan officials. That's in sports news. Stay with us.